Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Sri Radha Vinod Bihari Mandir in Gopinath Bhavan, live from Vrindavan.
Haribo, Dandavat Pranam.
Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupanuga Guru Varga ki jai, Pati Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shachinandan Gaura Hari ki jai, Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai, Radha Ramana Ju ki jai, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaura Premanande,
Hari Hari.
Hari Hari Bol. So we will begin, as we do every day, with Mangalacharan, the auspicious invocation. On page 1 of this book, Shri Gaudiya Giti Guccha, starting with Vandeham Shri Guru, Shri Yuttapada Kamalam. That's V-A-N-D-E, Vande, Vandeham.
Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Namine Shri Krishna Lila Kapane Sudaksham Odarya Madhurya Gunaishta Yuktam Varam Varinyam Purusham Mahantam Narayanam Tvam Shirasha Namami Tridanminam Bhakta Shiromanim Cha Shri Krishna Pada Jagataika Hridni Chaitanya Lilamrita Sarasar Narayanam Tvam Satatam Prapadye Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshakari Namo Vishnupadaya प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव इति नामिने भीमत्यक्षरित्राय स्वश्रितानंशपारिणे जीवदुःखे सदर्ताय श्रीनाम प्रेमदायिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वतीति नामिने श्रीवर्षभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाभये कृष्ण सम्बन्ध विज्ञान नयिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमध्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिदा श्रीगौर करुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनपालिने रूपानुगम्यरूपाप सिद्धान्तध्वन्तहारिणे नो गौरकिशोराय साक्षाद्वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भरसम्बोधे ततङ्गुजायते नमः नो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते गौराविर्भावभूमेस्त्वं निर्देष्टा सजनप्रिया वैष्णव सर्वभौमश्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जयतं सुरतोपमो मम मन्दमते गति मत्सर्वस्वपदम्बोजो राधामदनमोहनो दिव्यं वृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमः श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्री श्रीराधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेव ज्येष्ठानिधिः सेव्यमानस्मरामि श्रीमन्द्रसरसारम्भे वंशिवततस्थितः कर्षन्नेनुस्मरय गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रियेस्तु नः वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्णा भक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्त Vedharupasvarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srimad Gaura Bhaktavinda Cheto Darpanamarjanam Bhavamahar Davagni Nirvapanam Shreyam Kairavachandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadhu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Shvadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Rameva Kevalam Kalo Nastyeva 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 Gatiranyata Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Gurudev Kripa Karke starts with Gurudev Kripa. Kripa K-R-I-P-A-K-A-R-K-E. Gurudev
Gurudev
Kripa Karke.
Kripa Karke page.
Page 360.
Gurudev Kripa Karke Mujhko apna lena Gurudev Kripa Karke Srila
Evada Karunakoro, page 44, starts with E-I-B-A-R-A, Evada Karunakoro. And if you don't have the book, just wait one moment, and very mercifully Jiva Pavana Prabhu always puts the lyrics and so much nectar in the thread, so don't forget to scroll down. Thank you, Jiva Pavana Prabhu. Dandava Pranam.
Tambura drop.
Vaishnavi, if you go up the thread just a little bit, two comments, you'll find the lyrics. Look for Jiva Pavana Prabhu and he says lyrics on there, and it's E Vada Karuna Koru. It's there right above you. Okay, she got it.
Jai. Jai Jamuna Maiya. So we're going to do a Dhun, Nitai and Gauranga, chanting their names, and then afterward we will go into Prabhu Hai Amona Durmati by Bhaktivedanta Thakur, starting with Prabhu Hai, Prabhu, page 66, Amona Durmati, Emona Durmati. Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga Jai, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Nitai Page 66. Prabhu samsaro bhitari kuriyaya jinha Prabhu he mona durmati samsaro bhitari kuriyaya jinha Kavani jaja kono mahajane mathai adile Kavani jaja kono mahajane mathai adile
Chaitanya Gosai Nijanamo Purinano Nanda Sudha Jivi Tarino Jagatam Tumiyo Jariya Lohoni Japarita Lohoni Japarita Katha Suniya Ashiya Chiraju Tumaro Charano Tare Se Katha Suniya Bhakti Vinodam Kadiyo Kadita Bhakti Vinodam Bhakti Vinodam Kadiyo Kadita Bhakti Vinodam Aporo Would you like to sing for Krishna?
Of course I want to sing for Krishna, but not lady. Is Harinamatua for Krishna?
Yeah. Harinamatua Aneka Swarupa. Starting with Harinam. A. Hari Nama Tua. What page?
180.
180. 180. 180. Wait. Kishori.
I don't think it's in the book.
Madhukar?
I don't think he's here.
I'll just tell them to watch whatever minute of this.
Do they have it in the...
It's definitely in kksongs.org.
So Choti Si Kishori, C-O-T-I, or C-H-O-T-I, S-I.
You sure it's not in there? It's also in the, it might not be in the Gaudiya Kirtan app, but it's definitely on KK Songs. And Jiva Pavana Prabhu will definitely find it quickly. Right?
Just give 1 minute. Maybe just speak for 2 minutes to just a couple seconds.
I'm pulling it up to 1 second.
Harinama.
Shoti Si Kishori.
Jiva Pavana's got it. Jai Jiva Pavana Prabhu ki jai.
Jai. Are we singing Bhagavatam? This is a favorite Braj Kirtan, glorifying Braj style, Little Srimati Radhika.
सपने में आके मुझसे मीठी मीठी बोले रे सपने में आके मुझसे
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupananda Guruvarga ki jai, Pati Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shashinandana Gaura Hari ki jai, Radha Vino Bihari Ju ki jai, Harinam Sankirtana ki jai, Gaura Bhaktivedanta ki jai, Nitaya Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayaniti Namine Nama Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim Yatrapatamaham vande Shri Gurum Ninatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandava Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev. Nitya Lila Pravishta Vishnupad astottara Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaja. And the same thousands of Dandava Pranam to the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta Vishnupad astottara Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. To our Rupanuga Guru Varga and my Dandava Pranam to all Vaishnavas past, present and future, including all of you who are present with us today. Dandava Pranam.
Dandava Pranam.
So today, I don't have any question in advance, so we are actually continuing with going beyond Vaikuntha. Before beginning, I just want to again state that this is the Bhav Anuvad, the moods manifesting from the heart of our Gurudev in his commentary on Sri Sanatan Goswami's Brihad Bhagavatamrita. So before entering into this, we should pray to the lotus feet of our Gurudev and to Sri Sanatan Goswamipada. So to Sanatan Goswamipada in the words of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Vairaga Juga Bhakti Rasam Prayatna Apayanam Mam Anubhikshamandam Kripambudirya Paradukuduki Sanatanastam Prabhum Ashrayami. Praying in the lotus feet of our Gurudev and Sri Sanatan Goswamipada, that may even a particle of their moods which are present within these pages manifest within our hearts. So now we're beginning chapter 3. Very exciting. The title is The Superiority of Nam Sankirtan. How exciting.
Before you begin, there's a question. Jivapavana Prabhu is asking on behalf of everyone, how do we reconcile that the swarup of the jiva is inherent and that we originate in the Tatashta Shakti and not in the eternal pastimes of Krishna?
I'll give a simple example. When you see an apple tree, everyone heard the question? How do you reconcile that the swarup of the jiva is inherent within every soul, even though it has never technically been with Krishna in his eternal pastimes, in his lila, that it is of Tatashta Shakti or is Tatashta Shakti? How do we reconcile that that swarup is inherent if it has never been there, but it is of Tatashta Shakti? So when we see an apple tree, we see that an apple tree has so many branches, it has leaves, it has some flowers maybe, and apples as well. When you see an apple seed, you just see a teardrop-shaped seed. You don't see all of that. So that seed is present. Within that seed is all of the potential, all of the DNA, all of the inherency to awaken and manifest as an apple tree, which will then have so many branches, so many leaves, so many flowers, and so many beautiful fruits in the shapes and taste of apples. In a similar way, you could say that the seed is like the Tatashta. Within that seed, the potential is there, but it has not yet manifested its nature in its completeness. Mahaprabhu says, Shravana Kirtana Jale Kore Sechan. By hearing and chanting, this will nourish and water that seed by which it will grow. So, we may have our source, you could say, in Tatashta, but that does not mean that the inherent potential is not present within it. Same in a man. You can never say that a sperm is a man. But the potential in that is only to become a human being. At that point you can say it's just a unicellular, a single-celled organism, or maybe a few cells. But it has its inherent function. And when it comes together with an egg, then it begins to manifest its nature. If it is actually the sperm of a human being and the egg of a human being, then what will it become? It's not going to become anything else. But we cannot say that that does not have the potential to become a human being, although you know that that sperm has not been a human being before.
I think the question is, though, how is it coming from Tatashta if it's so much higher than that?
Yes, I'm reconciling.
Oh, okay, sorry.
In the same way, we understand that the Supreme Lord has name, form, qualities, and pastimes. But within the body of the Lord, everything is manifesting from within Him, even in the form of Mahavishnu, which in one sense is not different from Himself. That's why I'm using this sperm as an example, because Krishna Himself says, Aham bija pradapita. I am the seed-giving father of everything in existence. So it's not necessarily that he's creating us because he says that we are eternal, like himself. Mamai vangsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. You are eternal, like me. So we have potential, like him. The only difference is we are infinitesimal and he is infinite. So we have our potential. We are from him. We are eternal like him, and we have our intrinsic, inherent, internal nature, but it is not yet awakened or manifested, but it is there in potential. Or sometimes our acharyas use the word constitution. In the very first chapter of Jaiva Dharma, Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur makes it very clear. He speaks about a subject called Vastu Tattva. Vastu means substance. Every substance, down to the most minute particle, has its inherent nature. If you see atomic theory, and you look at the chart, a periodical chart of the elements, even hydrogen has its inherent intrinsic nature. Then oxygen, everything has its specific nature. Even each electron, each neutron, everything has its intrinsic nature. Without its own intrinsic nature and qualities, it cannot be said to be anything. I am quoting Srila Gurudev. He said, if there's no quality to something, then we cannot define that thing. So the jiva has been defined. Jivera surupahoy Krishner nityaras Krishner tatastha shakti bheda ved prakash. So the jiva is, Krishner means Krishna apostrophe S, Krishna's tatastha shakti, marginal energy. Some people have misconstrued this understanding of marginal, meaning you can make it whatever you want it to be. But in the example given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and as described by our Guru Varga, marginal in this case only means it has the tendency to go toward Krishna or toward Maya because of its place where it is located. Tata. On the shore, where the water hits, on the shore of the ocean or of the river. Sometimes, according to the tide, the ocean is closer, sometimes it is further out. We cannot define where the ocean is and where the land is at that point. Where is it? So that is known as Tatta. Krishna Tata, Tatastha Shakti, Bheda Ved Prakash. So this is the placement of the jivas. That we have the inherent tendency, in essence, to move either toward Krishna or toward Maya. This is the speciality of the jiva. And the question was asked, also in Jaiva Dharma, but our Gurudev, he explained it clearly, that this is quite an amazing thing. How is it possible that the superior energy, Jiva Shakti, superior to Maya, can be covered by Maya? Gurudev said, this is quite an amazing thing. This is only by Krishna's potency, known as the power to make the impossible possible, or aghatana ghatana patiyasi shakti. This is only by that potency that the jiva can be covered by the inferior energy, Maya. This is a special potency of Krishna's to make the impossible possible, that we have attraction to the inferior energy. And yet, there's a very special term within that shlok, Jivera Svarupavai. The Svarup of the Jiva. Svarup means own nature. That's what Svarup means. Krishner Nitya Das is the eternal servant of Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada asks the question, when the term Das is used, servant, it's not just a blob of energy. What does Das mean? Das means service. What is service? How do you define it? In this case, you can say it is a vastu. It is something. So what is it? What is the particular nature of that service that makes it service? Just to say that you're a servant doesn't mean anything. What are you doing to serve? That makes a servant a servant. You can't sit in the corner and do nothing and say, I'm a servant. Servant's nature is king karu. What can I do? Always endeavoring. So in this case, Srila Prabhupada makes the point that just to say something is servant, this is not enough. How is that servant serving? This defines service. And so there is something called a sthayi bhav, or a fixed, intrinsic, eternal mood, which is the essential nature of the soul. That is the fixed mood. So on that foundation, so many other kinds of services may be done. Like Gurudev, he told me one time, we were in Badger, New Braj, and I was becoming more and more famous for my world-famous pineapple upside-down cake. So every year, the devotees in New Braj at the Badger Festival would engage me in making pineapple upside-down cake for the festival. So I had 8 trays in the oven, I was wearing my green apron, and Gurudev came out and he was sitting from 5 until about 5:15 during the bhajans. And then he says into the microphone, "Where is Kishori Mohan?" I came out from the kitchen and like, "I'm here, Gurudev." And he said, "Your seva is to always be here in kirtan. Others can do that." Immediately I took the apron off, gave it to the devotee, said, "Check the cakes in half an hour." And from that day, I always sat on time, in front, ready for him to use me in kirtan whenever he liked. Another time, when they made us into executive committee members of Srila Gurudev's advisory council for his Sangha, our time was being taken probably 6 or 7 hours a day in meetings during the entire month of Kartik. And so we went to Gurudev very concerned that so much time is being taken in meetings and that maybe we're not doing the right thing. So I asked him personally, "What do you want me to do? What will please you?" He said, "Your service is preaching. If there's any time afterward, you can use it in management. But this is your number one seva, to preach." And he said, even if you don't do anything in management, it will go on as it always has. So he showed me what my priority is, and then he said if there's any time afterward, like when he consented that we could take on that seva of being executive committee members. At that time, he said, the result of seva is more and more seva. So he was acknowledging, but first there's the foundational seva. What is your seva? Kirtan prachar. That was the last words pretty much he told me before he left our vision. He said, "I'm happy with your kirtan and prachar." And he wanted us to continue. That was one of the last things he told me. But in this case, the jiva has an intrinsic inherent nature. It's svarup. And svarup is not devoid of qualities. If we were to make the jiva devoid of qualities, because it is just like Krishna, then we would also make Krishna devoid of qualities. In essence, this idea is like mayavad. It's impersonalizing the personal.
Wouldn't it seem as if our material relationships possessed more than the jiva then? Because we can love, we can actually have feelings and serve, and where does that come from?
If we do not possess within our core individuality, loving tendency, affection, connectedness, relationship, then how could that possibly be expressed in this world? what is at the core is expressing itself in a perverted way in this world. Atmendriya pritivancha taribalikam krishnendriya priti icha dhare premanam. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita states that the tendency to serve myself, to enjoy my own senses, or to increase the pleasure of the senses of other bodies of this world, this is known as kam. Kam is a perverted reflection of prem. Perverted reflection, the example given in Shastra is like a tree on the bank of a lake. You see the tree, and then you see the tree in the lake. But as the tree is in the lake, if there's any wind or anything, it is pervertedly reflected. So in Bhagavad Gita, the example is given there, and Krishna describes it quite elaborately. Krishnendriya priti icha dhare premanam. And the tendency to give transcendental pleasure to the transcendental senses of Krishna, this is known as prem, or love. So pure love is pervertedly reflected in this world in a selfish or exploiting way. It does not mean that we don't have that nature within us. Sat Chit Ananda is also present, but by the contact of transcendental Chit Ananda, Swarup Shakti, that tendency to serve Krishna is awakened. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagya Manajeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. By the mercy of Krishna, one receives in their life the condensed form of the mercy of Krishna known as Guru, by which Bhakti Lata Bij, the seed of bhakti, is received. In that case, the seed of bhakti being expressed as the desire to serve Krishna. So why am I saying the seed of bhakti? Again, if you look at all of our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharya's commentaries on this term, Bhakti Lata Bij, another word for it is sadhu sangha, or association with devotees. So by their association, because they are already transcendentally connected, just as fire ignites wood, their nature is already burning in love for Krishna. And we're not burning in love for Krishna, we're very dull to that. But still our potential is that. Our potential is that. So when that fire comes close to this wood-like nature, which is full of water, we're waterlogged, what happens? First, all of the anarthas, by their association, by the association of that heat of Krishna Prem, the anarthas begin to dissipate. We don't even realize it because we have not caught on fire yet. But gradually those anarthas begin to dissipate. So all the steam and bubbles and like that. And when we become ready, when the time is right, then poof, we will also ignite on fire for Krishna by that association. But the nature, the inherency to burn for Krishna is already there. So although we may not have been there, still there are unlimited souls. And some souls are meant for Vaikuntha. Some souls are meant for Ayodhya. Some souls are meant for Dwarka. Some souls are meant for so many different aspects of Godhead in service to those particular forms. And other souls are meant for service to Sri Sri Radha and Krishna in the kunjas of Vrindavan. It is the inherent nature or swarup of those souls. That's why Srila Gurudev said, 99% of you who have come to this class, there was about 1,000 people there, 99% of you have this intrinsic nature within you, otherwise you would not have been attracted to come here and hear this kind of Harikatha in the line of Rupa Goswami and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You would have automatically gone to any other sampradaya that would have nourished your inherent intrinsic bhav or nature. Did you want to add?
Well, I'm just asking, so the reconciliation is that because everything emanates from Krishna, that automatically, even though it's coming from Mahavishnu, actually it's all originating from Krishna. So this root emanating from Mahavishnu doesn't mean that it can only go to that point.
So Sudevi is making the point that Krishna is the supreme original source of everything. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarvakarana Karana. He is the original cause of all secondary causations. Anything which has a cause, he is the cause of that. He's the original. Anadi, Adi. Adi means original. Anadi means there is no one before him. Anadi. So there's no one before him. He is the source of Baladev Prabhu. Baladev Prabhu is the source of all of the Vishnu avatars. Baladev is a non-different form of Krishna, but his function, his nature, as Gurudev said, is that every atom, every particle of his being is made of loving service to Krishna. Although he's non-different, still he is the manifestation of servitor Godhead. Akhanda Guru Tattva, the unbroken original aspect of Guru. Nityananda Prabhu is non-different from Baladev Prabhu. Rajendra Nandana Jay Sachishuta Hoilo She Balarama Hoilo Nitai. The same Krishna appeared in this world as Sachinandan Gaurahari. The same Balaram appeared in this world as Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Original, non-different. So this Baladev Prabhu manifests. He is the root. He is the source of all other Sankarshans. From there comes the Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. And then from there comes Karunadakshaya Vishnu. Karunadakshaya Vishnu is the form of Vishnu who is lying in the causal, not casual, causal ocean, causing all of the universes to manifest simply by his breathing. And then everything comes back into him and is unmanifest again, simply by his in-breath. Again out, again in, very peacefully, unlimited universes are manifested and unmanifested again. This is Karunadakshaya Vishnu. And then from him, inside of each universe, there's Garbho Dakshaya Vishnu. Garbha means womb. So inside each universe, there's that form of the Lord. And he sustains each universe. Each universe is halfway full of transcendental water. This is from the Lord himself. And he's lying on Anantashesh, balancing each universe. And then from him comes Shirodakshaya Vishnu. Shirodakshaya Vishnu, within every universe there's another location where there is a place, a realm known as Kshirsagar, or the ocean of milk, or Kshir, whatever you like. So at that place, there's that particular form of Vishnu, whom Brahma goes to when the demigods come to him, complaining that the demons are always harassing us, we need help. So Brahma goes to the edge of the ocean of milk. He does not see Vishnu, but within his heart he begins to offer prayers to Vishnu who resides in this Kshirsagar. And from those prayers, then he receives an answer in his heart. Dene Brahma Hrida. Within his heart he receives an answer, which goes usually something like this. Tell all of the demigods that they should take birth on the earth planet in a certain location. Prepare the grounds, and I will come soon, and then I will annihilate the demons and rescue the devotees. So we've seen it again and again, as in the pastimes of Srila, in the pastimes of Narasimhadev, in the pastimes of Krishna, in the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. All of the demigods take birth first and prepare the platform, and then Krishna in his different forms manifests and performs his pastimes. So then this same Kshirsadakshaya Vishnu is also manifested within everyone's heart as Param Atma, as the supreme witness, reflected in every single person's heart. Since forever he is moving with the soul. No matter what body the soul enters, he is moving along with us. Even the subtle bodies are changing. Means it's morphing. Still it is made of mind, intelligence, and ego, but it is adjusting. The consciousness is adjusting, but still He's with us, simply waiting for us to turn and look toward Him. And that same Paramatma in the heart, Chaitya Guru, the Guru of the heart, who is always trying to help us and guide us, but we are listening to all of the other voices, the mind and the intelligence and the ego, so that we can understand and differentiate who's giving the instruction. He manifests externally as Diksha and Shiksha Gurus for us, to our eyes and to our senses, externally, so that we can communicate with and confirm what is going on inside. We might say, oh, I had this realization. And internally, we might get the confirmation from our mind. Yes, I am Guru and I am telling you, you are right. But if Guru is external, he will tell us what? I have not had the same vision as you. And then we will go, oh, okay. How do I adjust my approach? I just wanted to make this point. So the original Krishna has manifested all of these. From him, all of these other forms have manifested. So the origin of all jivas is ultimately Krishna. None other than Krishna. Everything is emanating from him. As Mahaprabhu told Sanatan Goswami, Krishna Surup Vichar Shunu Sanatan Advait Gyan Tattva Braje Brajendra Nandan. The truth about the absolute nature of God is Krishna Swarup, his own nature, qualities. Vichar, the truth. O Sanatan, Advait Gyan Tattva, the supreme, non-dual, absolute truth is none other than Braje Brajendra Nandan, the son of Nanda Maharaj, Sri Krishna in Vrindavan. Vrindavan's Krishna. And he's the source of everything. So all of these souls who are present within any situation, within all of creation, we cannot say which one is which. We don't have the eyes to see. We are not Tattvadarshi. But there are unlimited jivas within all creation. Unlimited. Countless jivas. In every universe, in every species of life, those jivas are there. But all of them have a particular inherent nature of service to the Lord. If every snowflake is unique, if every DNA is unique, if everyone's iris is unique, if every fingerprint is unique, why would something which is so superior to that be dull? Just blob energy. It doesn't make any sense. Why would I want to realize myself if I don't have a self? I have love here. I have relationship. I have experience. The idea is Mayavad. Because the soul is transcendental like Krishna. I believe in Bhakti Tattva Vivek. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes this, and also in Sri Krishna Sanghita. Krishna says that if one thinks that my birth and appearance in this world is mundane, then this is the sign of a foolish person. Avajananti mam mudha. He calls him mudha, foolish person. He has within himself, what is his constitution? Sat Chit Ananda. He is composed of eternality, Chit, relationship, consciousness, and Ananda, bliss, happiness, love, and affection. Srila Prabhupada again and again and again established that we also have these things, but to a very minuscule amount. That is why we are called Vibhina Angsa. Vibhina means infinitesimal Angsa. Like microscopic incarnations, if you want to call it that. We are his parts and parcels, and we are like him. But because of his power to make the impossible possible, we can be covered by Maya, but he cannot. Well, he can be, by Yoga Maya, but we can be covered by Mahamaya. He consents to be covered by Yoga Maya so that he can relish love in its pureness, prema. And we are somehow covered by Mahamaya. But still, that intrinsic inherent nature is present within us. What did you want to say? The intrinsic inherent nature is present within us. To deny that is to deny love itself. It's to deny individuality. It's to deny inherent seva. Just general, you're a general thing and you're a blank slate and then someone's going to make you into something. But you have no inherent potential. Even a sperm has more potential than a soul then. A seed of an apple or a bacteria has more potential than a spiritual transcendental soul. The idea is quite ludicrous. Therefore our Gurudev, our Param Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Govinda Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, I guarantee you Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Why? Because all of his senior-most, dearest disciples who were representing his every mood, including the guardian of devotion, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Srila Goswami Maharaj. Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Goswami Maharaj, one of the only persons Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada allowed to speak on rasa, on the sweet pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Our Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, who would fight with anyone who even minutely deviated from the conceptions of his Gurudev, and he would take them to court.
Didn't he have a name that was protector of the faith in a way? Maybe Vichitri knows.
There is something I can't remember at the moment. He would take them to court. He said that his mission wouldn't be successful unless there was a minimum of 3 court cases going simultaneously. He didn't tolerate any nonsense or deviation from the conceptions of his Gurudev. And his Gurudev was the best devotee, best disciple of Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur. Bhaktivedanta Thakur was well versed as the 7th Goswami, Saptam Goswami, Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur ki jai. As the 7th Goswami, he was well versed in all of the understandings of all of the previous Goswamis. What he gave us, we follow. And therefore we are called followers of Bhaktivedanta Dhara, in the line of Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur. What he has understood, we accept that. We do not try to jump over his head and assume that we can understand more than what he has understood. What our Gurudev and Guru Varga have understood and what they presented to us, we accept that. And we move forward with that conception, not trying to be more intelligent than them. Our Gurudev asked, does anyone have the right to change the teachings or conceptions of his Guru? One devotee said, well, maybe if. Gurudev said, never. If he tries to do so, this is like demonic. This is the nature of a demon. So we should understand this concept. Our Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Srila Maharaj, all of these divine personalities, our Prabhupada, you can read it in his purports, in his translation to the verses, everywhere. All of our Guru Varga are giving this conception. And if we want to attain and receive their mercy, then we will hold tightly to their moods and their conceptions if we want their flow of mercy to enter into our hearts and to increase our mamata for them. Then we hold on tightly to their instructions. So how do we reconcile this? Jiva. There is something which Guru gives. We should understand. There is something that Guru gives. By that association and that transcendental, I'm using the term fire. By that transcendental fire, our inherent nature to also burn for Krishna ignites. So bhakti makes bhakti, or bhakti awakens bhakti. Fire is awakened. Right? How do you light a stove? There's some potential in the gas. How do you get that gas to light? A spark. And then what? By the potency of fire, the fire awakens, the fire manifests. In the same way, That nature is within us. And by the association which is favorable for the awakening of our particular intrinsic nature, we will awaken to that particular intrinsic nature. Our Param Gurudev and Srila Bhakti Rakshak Srila Maharaj gave an example. A gardener can plant many different kinds of seeds. Right? So you got an apple seed, an eggplant seed, an orange seed, a strawberry seed. I don't know. Potato seed would be a cutting, okay?
Tomato.
Oh, tomato seed,
Avocado.
avocado seed, okay, you name it. We've got seeds. And any gardener who's a really good gardener knows what potential is in these seeds. Now what does he do? He gives them the same sunlight, maybe a little shade according to their nature, the same water, similar nourishment, similar care. And yet, they each manifest their own nature. And this is the very beginning of Jaiva Dharma. As you open the book, what happens? You see, two personalities are there. And their guru is there. And their guru says to them, to one, you are a cowherd boy. And he says to the other, you are a maidservant of Srimati Radhika, Manjari. Just like that. He could see their nature. And then he gave them each the appropriate sadhanas to awaken their intrinsic, individual, particular goals. Why could he do so? He didn't change them from who they are. He didn't make the cowherd boy into what he was. He was also a Manjari, maidservant of Radhika. He didn't say, no, you should become me, like me. He only awakened his nature. He awakened it. How can the gopi awaken or nourish the cowherd boy? Because within Madhurya Rasa is the maximum extent of Vatsalya Rasa, parental mood, and the maximum extent of Sakya Rasa, or friendship mood, the maximum extent of Dasya Rasa. The maximum extent of all other rasas is present within Madhurya Rasa, so Madhurya Rasa Guru can nourish all others. A Sakya Rasa Guru can only nourish up to their level. And then they would, if you were, let's say, in Madhurya Rasa, if your nature of your Atma was in Madhurya Rasa, then the Sakya Rasa Guru would have to send you onward to a Shiksha Guru who will nourish your intrinsic mood in Madhurya Rasa. As we have seen in the case of Hridaya Chaitanya and Dukhi Krishna Das, he sent Dukhi Krishna Das to Sri Jiva Goswami, who we know is Vilas Manjari. And Jiva Goswami gave this Dukhi Krishna Das specific instructions. Those specific instructions were able to assist him to awaken his eternal form as a gopi in Vrindavan. So he was in Sarat form, became known as Shyamananda, and also he is a gopi or maidservant of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. Hridaya Chaitanya is a cowherd boy, so he sent his disciple onward for further instruction. This is the flow of bhakti. He didn't make him what he is. He only nourished him. He didn't make him what he himself was. He nourished that Atma and then helped him toward his own intrinsic individual perfection. Yes? So now, was that... Sorry, what?
Jiva Pavana Prabhu said about 20 minutes ago, absolute truth spoken concisely is true eloquence. Perfect answer, Prabhuji. This also reconciles how the Uttam Adhikari sees our eternal position in the spiritual world even before it's fully developed. So you went nicely and deeply into it.
That was not spoken concisely, but thank you.
It was thorough. It's important.
There is also the conception that the Uttam Adhikari sees everyone according to their own nature, and sometimes people like to try to superimpose this onto Srila Gurudev. Oh, well, he's of that nature, therefore he sees everyone like that. But Srila Gurudev explained that the Uttam when he takes the role of Guru, steps into or takes the role of a Madhyam Adhikari Vaisnava to be able to discriminate for the purpose of discriminating for our eternal spiritual benefit. That's why he steps into that role. As a PhD professor would step into the role of a kindergarten teacher, it might be. And he has the qualification to do so. So it doesn't mean that he's seeing, oh, you're all the same thing. Because Gurudev did acknowledge maybe one or two are Ram Bhaktas. We were there many times. Why didn't he say, oh, you're all Manjaris? He never said that. He said maybe one or two might be in any other rasa. And he acknowledged this one has the nature of serving Ram. He installed Sita, Ram, Lakshman, Hanuman for them. He instructed them how to chant Hare Krishna and their mantras to awaken their prem for Dasya Prem for Sri Ram. So he's able to nourish that as well. He was aware of that. He didn't try to force Manjari on them. And this is an important point. Sri Guru does not try to force or make us into something we're not. Sri Guru only endeavors to nourish what is already present so that we can become what we are, so that we can awaken what we are.
That would also be against the idea that the jiva has minute independence. If someone comes and makes them become something.
Yes, did you hear that? The jiva has minute independence. Sometimes, Sudevi was just saying, it's the idea is against the independence of the jiva, that Guru will come along and make them something else. Now some would say, well, it's against the independence of the jiva that he already has an inherent eternal swarup or form. But we need to understand these terms in their contexts. Independence doesn't mean that you don't have an inherent form. Independence means you have the choice to choose to serve Krishna or to serve Maya. That is our independence. Only that. But sometimes people take it all the way to that and take it out of the context of what this term is used for and apply it to, no, we're independent and we are tatashta. It means we are blank slates and we have the freedom to choose whatever we want. Now, what is the definition of pure bhakti? What we want? What we like?
Anya vilashita shunyam.
Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavartam anukuliyena Krishna anushilanam bhaktir uttama. What is for Krishna's happiness, Krishna's pleasure, Krishna's benefit, exclusively for him, without any selfish desire. Why do I want to serve Krishna as a coward boy? Well, who wants to be in their house as a gopi, crying in separation? We've heard this from people. I want to enjoy playing with Krishna. Does that make sense? The moment I have this selfish desire, I am not engaging in pure bhakti. This is karma. I want to enjoy a specific thing. But you look at all of the pure devotees of Krishna, when even the ecstasy of serving Krishna manifests and stops their seva, they curse that ecstasy. Damn that ecstasy which has stopped my service to Krishna. As we've seen in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in the case of Daruka. He damned that ecstasy. The gopis are cursing Brahma. What kind of foolish creator are you? Don't you know that we worship Krishna with our eyes? Kripa kataksha bhajanam. They worship Krishna with their sidelong glances. And what have you done? You have given us eyelids. What kind of foolish creator makes eyelids? Don't you understand? Yugaitam nimeshena chakshashakra vrishaitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahiname. One moment in separation from Krishna is like millions of yugas. And you have blinked our eyes how many times a minute? What kind of foolish creator makes eyes with eyelids? And you've only given us 2 eyes? We should be all eyes so that we can drink the nectar of Krishna and worship him with our eyes. And then on top of that, when the ecstasy of worshipping and serving Krishna manifests, our eyes fill with tears and we cannot see Krishna. What kind of foolish creator gives us tears?
Gurudev said those who have not seen this sight of Krishna are quite useless.
Can you say it loudly?
Set on fire. You're in the mind.
Sudevi is saying that Gurudev said that the gopis are saying that those who have not seen the beautiful sight of Krishna as he's entering the forest in the morning with his cowherd boyfriends and his calves, those eyes are quite useless and they should be set on fire. They have no purpose whatsoever. Who have not seen this beautiful sight. So the gopis are cursing at that. What is this thing? This thing which is blocking us from doing our seva. But they have no selfish self-interest or self-motivation. Everything of the pure devotee is made exclusively, is meant and is made exclusively of loving service for Krishna, what is called Krishna Anushilanam. Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. Anukul means favorable. What is favorable for Krishna? What is for him, for his pleasure, for his benefit. And if it is not for that, then they don't want it. And even if they have to suffer, so that Krishna is happy, then let that suffering come. Srimati Radhika is cooking in the middle of the summer on hundreds of pots with fire. Hundreds of pots. But because she's there in Nandagaon, in the kitchen of Mother Yashoda, cooking for Krishna, because she's close to him, and she's able to serve like that, even though it is so hot, and then you have the added heat of all of the fires, because of that seva, she's feeling cooled inside. She's feeling cool from that. So, the jiva, it also has its inherent potential, its nature to serve. But to desire to be anything else, this is selfish. Like I started way in the beginning. Our teachers came to nursery school. I must have been 4 years old at the time. And the teachers asked all the boys and the girls and everyone, what do you want to be when you go back to Godhead? And all the boys said, we want to be cowherd boys. I want to be Bhima. I want to be Hanuman. And all the girls are like, we want to be gopis. Some wanted to be queens.
Why are you looking at me like that?
She wanted to be a queen. 16,109. 10 sons, 1 daughter, beautiful palace, lots of servants, fine clothes and jewels.
If you're gonna dream, dream big.
But usually people look at themselves in the mirror and they think, I am this body. So what do I want to be in Goloka Vrindavan? Well, whatever I am in this body. We have attachment to this body, this I and mine conception, and we superimpose our material conditioning onto the spiritual ideal. Superimposing the material onto the spiritual. There's a proper term for that in our Shastra. Does anyone know what it is?
Sahajya.
Prakrita Sahajya. That my material attachments, attractions, and desires, now I'm superimposing that onto the spiritual. This is called Prakrita Sahajya. You can look it up. It doesn't have a very good connotation in our Gaudiya Vaishnava's lingo. We will not see any positive response to this idea, Prakrita Sahajya. One girl said, I want to be a flower. Of course, this is her desire, I want to be a flower, but still she understood that she's not the body, that she can be something other than her body. What am I? Who am I? This question was asked by Sanatan Goswami to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this kind of question should be there when we meet with Sri Guru. Sanatan Goswami met with Mahaprabhu as Guru.
Because it's close to the end. Mamata Didi is asking one question. Didn't Gurudeva also ask devotees what they were aspiring for? Like it was an exclamation in a way.
I never heard.
What is our goal? What are we aspiring for?
I never heard him individually ask to any devotee, what do you want to be when you go to Goloka Vrindavan? But those who had come to him, whom he had at the time of initiation given some indication to about their goal. so that we wouldn't be lost in the journey that Gokumar had to take,
which we will see in 30 years' time.
which we will find out finally in 30 years' time. He would ask us, do you want liberation? And all the devotees would say, no, Gurudev. And then he would say, do you want to go to Vaikuntha? And the devotees would say, no, Gurudev. Do you want to go to Ayodhya? No, Gurudev. And then he would say, oh, one Ram Bhakta, oh, maybe one, like that. Then he would say, do you want to go to Dwarka? And the devotees would say, no, Gurudev. And then finally he would bring us to what our hope, what our goal, what our aspiration is. And that is in line with what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself came to give, came to awaken. What Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was tasting, what was that? Radha Bhav. Radha Bhav Duty Subalitam. He was tasting the moods of Srimati Radhika's love and affection for Krishna. Tasting that nectar, he also wanted to distribute some of that, but that is her property exclusively. So what could he distribute? Sva Bhakti Shriyam, the semblance of the beauty of that mood. So if his desire is to give that, think about it. When Krishna desires, what happens?
Srimati Radhika fulfills.
Srimati Radhika or Yoga Maya,
Yeah.
his Shaktis, his potencies, make all arrangements immediately for his desires to manifest. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, tasting the moods of Srimati Radhika, desires Prem Ras Niryash Korite Ashvadan Rag Marga Bhakti Loke Korite Pracharan, that he wants to awaken a spontaneous mood of love and affection like the Brajavasis have for Krishna, but specifically Unata Ujvala Rasam, the highest, topmost rasa, Radhika's love and affection for Krishna, Sva Bhakti Shriyam, the mood of the beauty of that. This is in the mood of service to Radha and Krishna in the Nikunjas of Vrindavan, as we say for our Gurudev, all Gurudevs, Nikunja Yuno Ratikeli Siddhyai. They're serving in the Nikunjas of Vrindavan. Then, when he is desiring, what will happen? All of those jivas who have that nature to serve like that will move forward in a sense, will naturally flow forward to receive what he wants to give. Does that make sense? I want to distribute this. I want to awaken this. Who can he awaken it in? All of those jivas who have that intrinsic nature. So they move forward. Those who are coming in the line of Rupa Goswami, who are hearing this kind of katha, 99% of you will have this particular kind of mood. What mood? The goal of our everything. Shri Rupa Manjari Pada Same or Sampada Same or Bhajana Pujan Same or Pranadhana Same or Abharana Same or Jivanera Jivan. Our everything is the dust of the lotus feet of Shri Rupa Manjari. To serve as Rupa Goswami served here in sadhak form, and as Shri Rupa Manjari is serving Radha and Krishna in Nitya Leela. Shri Rupa Goswamipada ki jai, Shri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Sachinandan Gaura Hari ki jai, Gaura Bhaktivedanta ki jai, Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Thank you for your question, Jiva Pavana Prabhu. We did not read about...
And also Mamata Didi.
And Mamata Didi. We did not read about the superiority of Nam Sankirtan, but that question is essential. It's very important how to reconcile or understand that. So I've never quite heard that question like that before, although I have contemplated that subject. So it's very nice to be able to really deeply reflect on it. Thank you. You've given me so much inspiration by your question.
I'll start it and then you have to take it.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivedanta ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Thank you very much.
Thank you for letting us practice the new tune of Hare Krishna on you.
Thank you for being with us and for encouraging us and for just really engaging
Joining
us in our
us.
Guru Seva. And we hope to see you all or to be with you all tomorrow. Dandavat Pranam, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Dandavat Pranam, Radhe Radhe Radhe.